Hello, namaste. It's lovely to connect with you today. My name's Leanne Peters. I'm from templeofbalance.com.au, Temple of Balance on Facebook, and Temple of Balance on YouTube. And I'm sitting here at 5 Mile Beach here in Tasmania, Australia. It is a beautiful morning. It's Friday the 29th of March at exactly 9:43 a.m. I'm just about to do a live healing event on my YouTube channel. That's Temple of Balance on YouTube. As soon as I finish this, I'll be doing a healing event stream on YouTube for 1 hour. So if you want to and you have time, please go over to my YouTube channel shortly. First of all, because I have a little bit of time to spare, I thought I'd stop in and answer a question that was sent in about a month ago from Bernadette. And Bernadette asked, she says, first of all, that she finds it hard to journal as she finds it hard to say how I feel, except in extreme circumstances. So when she's extremely feeling something, I guess. And do I have any ideas to help her with her journaling and to help her connect with her feelings when they're more subtle? And I certainly do have some ideas that might help, and I thought I'd share them in a video because they may help you as well. So we're going to just touch on journaling and also touch on how to connect with how we feel whenever we want to, basically. So our journal is much more than writing down how we feel. So, you know, I think sometimes we might think that journaling has to be how we're feeling 24/7, but it doesn't have to just be about how we feel. But I will talk more about how to connect with that shortly. Our journal can also include our dreams, the cards that we pull for ourselves. It can also include our thoughts and our curiosities and the things that we're kind of thinking about and exploring. Like for me at the moment, I'm exploring my theme word for May, which is rebuild. For April, sorry, I'm a month ahead. My theme word for April is rebuild. So I'm looking at that from all different directions in my journal. I'm looking at definitions. I'm looking at other words that also describe rebuild. I'm looking at the opposites of rebuild and how these things make me feel. So we can also write down our experiences in our journal, so the things that we've been through that day, the things that stand out for us this week. We might want to write down all the things and people that we're grateful for in our journal. So I also do a lot of scribbling and doodling and diagrams and ask myself questions. So it doesn't just have to be limited to, you know, how we feel and how we feel and how we feel. That's just a part of what we can use our journal for. So we can use anything for our journal. I just use an exercise book that I get from the supermarket, basically a notebook, I guess is what we'd call it. But how do you connect now with how you feel when you're not feeling extremes is the other part of what I want to talk about. And I feel it's really important that we check in with ourselves really often, to check in and see how we feel, whether we're feeling an extreme or not, just to be able to stop and check in and see how we're doing. And I really feel it's an important part of maintaining our balance as well, because then we can recognize when we might be sort of slipping downhill and we can do something about it before we hit the extreme. So I invite you now, if you have a minute, to stop what you're doing, unless you're driving or doing something really important, driving a plane or something, flying a plane I should say. Don't stop anything like that. But if you can, just stop for a moment, stop everything that you're doing and just take a big breath. And then what I would do if I'm checking in with myself is I'd do a scan from head to toe. So I make sure my limbs are uncrossed and I just do a general scan, an observation of how I'm feeling from head to toe. So are there any aches or pains in my body? Is there anything niggling or hurting or aching in my physical body? And I'll just observe this. I don't need to go and say, okay, the reason that my arms hurt is because I waxed the car yesterday, which is what happened. So I cut and polished my car yesterday, so my arms are a little bit sore and my wrists. But I don't need to go into the story of why I'm aching or sore. So I can feel right now for me that I'm a little bit sore in the forearms and in the wrists. And I feel a little bit heavy in the stomach, and there's a slight energy that I feel too in my tailbone, and a little bit tingling in my feet. So that's just what I'm observing now when I scan and check my body. Now, if I had, say, really sore wrists, then I could observe that and then make a mental note and then do something about maybe applying some ice or some magnesium or whatever, having some herbal tea that helps reduce swelling, or, you know, there's some action that I could take if I wanted to, because I've observed and checked in with how my body's doing. And then I check in and see how I'm actually feeling. So I actually feel quite excited and I feel quite calm right now. One thing I've noticed a lot is that when we check in with how we feel, we tend to think about how we should have felt, or how we felt yesterday, or how we should feel later with something that we've got coming up. So I feel it's really important that we check in with how we feel and let it be okay to feel okay. You know, just because something terrible happened yesterday doesn't mean we still need to feel terrible today or in this moment. So we can let ourselves move through and process and flow with how we feel each moment that we're checking in. And really be careful not to think in the past or feel how we did feel or feel how we should feel later, but really very much check in with how we feel now. And then, so once I've scanned my body, once I've checked in with how I actually feel in this moment, no past or future perspectives, but now, then I notice what I observe. So I listen. And I hear birds, and I hear the movement of crabs here behind me in the sand. I hear the traffic rumbling in the background. So I just stop and I really be ultra present when I'm checking in, when I'm connecting with how I feel. So, of course, I'm not always going to feel like this. So in 5 minutes' time, I might feel different. In an hour's time, I'm going to feel different again. So I think we need to be careful that we don't hold ourselves in a state of feeling and, in other words, hold ourselves stuck. Because feelings are emotions that just want to move. So they're always in flux. They're always moving. And we need to let ourselves move through our various emotions. And if we feel angry, we can admit it to ourselves. As soon as we do, it seems to pass. If we feel like we're struggling and we admit that to ourselves, we recognise it, as soon as we do, it passes. So, you know, these are the types of things you can explore in your journal, or you can just check in with yourself, you know, a couple of times a day and see how you're doing. And if there is an anger, or you're feeling upset, or if you're feeling like you're struggling and you observe that when you're checking in, then, like I said, with any injury or aches that you might feel in your body, you can do something about it there and then, before it goes downhill and suddenly we're out of balance and we're just in a horrible, dark place. So the aim of checking in and the aim of journal writing is to catch the instability before it goes to an extreme. So let's check in with ourselves constantly or often, and we can pen what we're feeling in our journal. So just check in. If you're feeling calm, you're feeling calm. If you're feeling agitated, you're feeling agitated. So just a few tips there on journaling. It's really easy, so just, I guess, start. I guess the hardest place is to start sometimes, isn't it? So just find the courage to start, and it's a great safe place, or it should be a safe place where you can just express. It's just a place of expression where you can express what's going on for you, how you feel, your thoughts and curiosities, inspirations, your ideas, and basically it's about really getting to know yourself. So I trust that helps you in some way if you've been thinking about journaling, or if you're not sure how to check in with how you feel. I trust something's helpful for you there. So I'm going to go, and I'm actually heading over to YouTube, and in 5 minutes I'll be starting our healing event for patrons. So you're very welcome to join in if you want to. Just go to Temple of Balance on YouTube and you'll see my live video. It's scheduled to start very, very soon. So if you're watching live, come over and have a look if you want. So thanks for connecting, and if you want to learn more about me and the work that I do at Temple of Balance, please visit my website at templeofbalance.com.au. So thank you and namaste.